And welcome back to Face Off as we get set to move on to the NHL. They're back. That happened over the break
Thank
as well.
God.
Oh, it did.
Thank God.
Anyway, early on, who's the team to beat in the Eastern Conference, Ryan?
It kills me to say this as a diehard Flyers fan. It's the team that I just despise the most, but right now it is the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are the team to beat. First place in the Eastern Conference right now. Fifth in goals per game, second on the power play in the league. They're 11-5. I do get tired of hearing about Crosby and Malkin and all that. I really do, but we're a third of the way through the season. This is the best team in the East right now. The only team that's not better than them in the entire NHL is Chicago, because Chicago's just been unreal. But I just think you have, the duo of Malkin and Crosby, who we can bash them all they want. They are phenomenal. They are top 5 players. And not even that, you have Letang on the defense. They're just a team full of depth. They really are. Fleury, I'm not huge on Fleury, but he's proven that he can get the job done. It's a veteran team. They've been to the playoffs. They've won cups. They know what they're doing. Right now, unless the Rangers somehow get it going and start pulling up the rankings, or the standings, I should say, I think Pittsburgh's the team to beat right now.
I'm going to go with the New Jersey Devils. Made it to the Stanley Cup final last season, so the defending Eastern Conference champs. They lose, I believe it was 51 goals between losing Zach Parise and Peter Sikora, and they're still right up there with the Penguins. Pete DeBoer's done a hell of a job. Coach of the Year candidate, New Jersey Devils.
I don't know hockey, but I do know when you win games, it's good in sports. So I choose the Boston Bruins. I see here that they actually beat the Rangers. I know Rangers are prominent. I know the Islanders are supposed to be good this year, right, guys? Right? They're actually doing okay? No? Okay, well, they beat them anyway.
We just beat them 7-0.
They beat the Devils in a shootout. They beat Carolina. I know Carolina's looking good. Montreal looks good, right? They're a good team, right? I know absolutely nothing about hockey.
Study. This is why we send you the rundown beforehand.
I just did study. I say Boston Bruins. They look like they have a good home record, good away record. They're like balanced. They're fourth. I know they're prominent in the playoffs, so I just picked them. But you guys can go back to talking about it. I really don't know.
You're off the show.
Yeah. I do like the Boston pick. The only reason I didn't think the Devils here, they're off to a very hot start. They beat the Flyers twice, better than I thought they'd be. I don't know. I just look at this team, and I just don't see a team that can hang in there the rest of the way. I don't see them beating Pittsburgh in a best of 7. I don't even see them beating the Rangers in a best of 7 series. Maybe not even Boston. It's just the key to this team is Martin Brodeur. Always has been, always will be, as long as he's there anyway, because I feel like he's going to play till he dies. He's like 40 years old now, and yet the Flyers still can't solve him. I don't know. It's just the team. They have Adam Henrique, which I think is still a good young player. Otherwise, though, it's just a bunch of older guys that I don't see lasting for much longer. Kovalchuk, Elias. I just don't see this team matching up with the Pittsburgh Penguins or the New York Rangers, or even if the Flyers can get it going. I think the Flyers can find a way to beat them. They struggle matching up against them, but I don't know. I just don't have faith in the Devils. I really don't.
I don't know. We'll see. Like you said, when it comes to the playoffs, they might not be able to beat them, but I think they're the team to beat. Not saying they're going to do anything.
I mean, they were in the finals last year, so I guess.
I think that's the team you have to go through in order to be the new team. Anyway, 2 other teams we talked about them, the Rangers and the Flyers. A little bit up and down in the early going here in the short season. Who's been more disappointing for you? And I'm going to go with the Rangers, because the Rangers, Eastern Conference Finals last year, didn't really lose much, brought back the same strong team. The Flyers, you saw, they lost. Their defense is horrible. You saw they lost Matt Carl. Brian Boucher is their backup again, even though they were originally going to stick with Michael Leighton. They have no defense. The scoring's been real disappointing. They brought back the same team forward-wise. They haven't really been that good. They finally scored 7 goals yesterday, but they really haven't been able to generate much of a rhythm.
Yeah, this was tough for me to decide on, honestly, because like you said, the Rangers, they were like the dream team this year, coming this year, getting Nash, Lundqvist being the best goalie in the league, definitely in my opinion. But for me personally, it's not even just because I'm a Flyers fan. I think it's a little more disappointment for the Flyers, because here's the thing. Right now, the Rangers had a bad start, but they are the 8th seed. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10, so they're getting it going. They're getting hotter. When you have Henrik Lundqvist, I don't see this lasting for much longer. I think they're going to easily get to the top 5, top 4 in the East. The Flyers, on the other hand, I'm not so confident on them. I mean, there's times when they look great. You take the Islanders game the other day. They play with a lot of heart. They play with passion. They're scoring 7 goals. Briz is playing well. Then you have another game, watch the Montreal game. They're just no passion, no fire in them, or as Laviolette would say, no jam. It's just they're inconsistent. 7-9-1 right now compared to the Rangers 8-5-1. Right, they're only 2 points out of a playoff spot at the moment. It's just right now, I did expect a lot more out of this team than a 10th seed in the East.
Yeah, we're going to skip you. Moving to golf.
You don't even know.
Does Tiger Woods, as we get set for 2013 PGA Tour is starting to get underway. Tiger finally going to win a major this year, guys.
I know so much more about golf. Just kidding. But I do know that Tiger only won 2 matches last year. I know that he blew actually 3 matches with putts, one of them being the Ryder Cup. He could have solidified it with like a 10, 15-foot putt?
Something like that.
Something along those lines where he absolutely had to make it if he's the best golfer in the world. I think Tiger built his entire repertoire off of everything he could do. You know, everyone said he had a phenomenal drive. He had the most ridiculous shots he could get out of like any situation he put himself in with that long drive of his. I think he has a killer instinct, though. That's the most important intangible he had. I think that's gone. I think that got washed away with the media scrutiny. No one's gotten such like harsh whiplash as he did for that like month-long span where it was just like constant story after story coming out about him. He was rehabbing his knee and it was torn ACL, right? He tore his ACL in that situation that he played off of.
I believe so.
He was
tore something in his knee.
He was coming off of something like that. I don't see how you're as great as an athlete as you are at his age. He is older now, so I like how last year he was, coming top 5, top 10 usually with those, but he couldn't pull off the wins. I feel like that's the Tiger we see now. It's just a shell of himself.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Tiger's winning a major this year either. He's going to win a couple tournaments, no doubt about that. But, you got guys like Rory McIlroy, I'm pretty sure is ranked #1 in the world. You got young guys like that. Luke Donald, I think you mentioned to me earlier. It's not the same Tiger Woods anymore. He's gotten a little bit better over the past few years. I mean, there was a good year or two span where he won nothing, basically. It was just terrible. He's in the hunt now, more so than not. He gets through the cut usually, but I don't think he wins a major this year. I just don't.
He might not be the same Tiger Woods. He might not still be the same dominant Tiger Woods, but I will still take the Tiger Woods now over a lot of other golfers.
Oh, well, yeah.
And I say he is going to win one this year. When in your career, when things aren't going your way, you have to hit rock bottom for you to make a comeback. And the past couple of years for him have been rock bottom. He's going to come back, adjust, and he's going to win a major this year. Watch, mark my words. Now, an interesting case and a sad case. Oscar Pistorius, the double amputee who ran in the Olympics, garnered a lot of media attention, being charged with murder in his native South Africa for murdering his girlfriend. He came up with a story saying that he thought his girlfriend was a burglar in the house, and she ended up being shot 4 times. I think the gun was shot 4 times. 3 of them hit her. She ended up dying, unfortunately. But do you believe his story about this whole robber thing? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. They said the bathroom door was locked. It was in the middle of the night, apparently. They said the bathroom door was locked. If you're in your house in the middle of the night in your bedroom, why are you locking the bathroom door? Nobody's in there besides your boyfriend. Why are you locking the bathroom door? 1. 2, apparently he didn't have his prosthetic legs on. Apparently he went outside for some fresh air or something, came back in, didn't have his prosthetic legs on, said he felt vulnerable, and that's why he grabbed the gun. And apparently, I didn't hear anything about him yelling out. He thought his girlfriend was still in the bed. How do you not notice your girlfriend's not in the bed when they made a good point? If he didn't have his legs on, he can't move that quickly. Yeah. So he has to move. I would assume his gun is in a bedside table, locked in a bedside table of some sorts. He would have to move around close to the bed slowly. How do you not notice your girlfriend is not in the bed?
Well, let's talk about what no one really wants to talk about this situation. I heard someone bring it up the other day, and it seems pretty interesting, is the use of drugs by athletes, the extent of brain damage to athletes that they go through their training, through whatever drug use they're having, performance-enhancing drugs, all that kind of stuff. You see this kind of story all the time in boxing. You don't see it really with any other sport, but you always hear all the time, there's always murder problems, situations like that arising from something that has to do with PEDs, something that has to do with steroids, HGH, rage moments, roid rage as I call it, something traumatic happening. Do you think an amputee athlete could actually go through something like that? Because it seems so much more susceptible when you think about it. It seems like too sensitive right now, but
I think it's possible. But when it comes to the the story that Pistorius said, I don't find it very believable. I mean, I saw something about how he thought the burglar was in the house and was locked himself in the bathroom. If you're a burglar, why are you locking yourself in the bathroom? That's the first thing I thought. I was like, that doesn't make much sense to me. Like you said about him thinking his girlfriend was still in the bed. So you're telling me you don't know that your girlfriend's not in the bed. You think she's still there. and you think a burglar is just, locking himself in your bathroom. So what do? You shoot through the door. Is that what the story is?
Yeah, he shot through.
It makes no sense to me. I don't understand that. Like, why would you just shoot through the door?
Really,
I don't believe him.
It's really, there's really a lot of questions.
It's a sketchy situation.
Yeah.
I think he's guilty, personally.
Yeah. We're going to step off through break. Now on Face Off, when we come back, it will be Kevin's trivia question of the week. Vin's out. Final thoughts and game ball. Stay tuned.